Yeah, you're talking about creating momentum, which is like super important. Super important tool that I use personally for getting shit done, which is you know, you got one of your notes that you wrote was like do the hardest thing first. And I kind of we could debate that, but I kind of like I don't do that. Like I like to create momentum into, you know, doing these bigger things. I'm a firm believer. Like when I started podcasting, well, we did podcasts for like 10 years, but when I recently started this one, it was like I knew the first one would suck, you know, but it's like you just gotta go
Yeah.
talking to your phone and get one, like do it and then build the reps. And then after a couple of months, you're like, well, damn, I got like 10 in the bucket here.
Yeah.
It's getting not terrible.
Yeah. It's this power of habit thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I don't know if I agree either. I wrote it down just because it was a concept that stood out to me from the book, but I don't know if I subscribe to it either. This idea of doing the hard things first.
I do that when I do things I don't want to do.
Right.
I just do the biggest, hardest one and get out of the way, and then
But in terms of like changing habits and creating momentum, I think it is. It has to be that incremental.
But it feels great.
It's definitely a less friction filled way to achieve something.
But when you start something small and then you've built it a little bit, and it's like 6 months later, and you look back at it, that moment when you do that, it feels pretty damn good.
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah.
I mean, I don't know anyone who doesn't like making progress.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's the thing. And I think so many people get stuck with their fitness goals or weight loss goals or professional goals. I want to earn more income or whatever it is, because they struggle with that first step, getting started. And so I really like this book because he does help you think about easing into some of this, right? Like pausing to reflect the essence first, and then talking about what really matters and unpacking that. Why does it really matter? And so it's sort of like building some momentum to get you to the point where you're ready to be like, okay, how do I say no to that jerk that always interrupts me when I'm in a meeting?
Yeah.
Or, that client that emails it on 8 o'clock on a Saturday and is expecting a response.
Right. Yeah.
Those things, like, not only
they eat at you,
rude, but they eat at you. Right.
Yeah.
And I will say it's sort of like anti-momentum, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're having a great weekend.
It's a brick wall,
and that comes in.
Oof.
And in some cases, for me, that can ruin my evening.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I don't know
Especially
how many,
if they're assholes.
I don't know how many vacations that I haven't ruined the vacations, but I don't know how many vacations that I've spent working on shit. You know what I mean? And you're just like, fuck, why am I getting up before everyone else to work on this shit for 3 hours before they get up?
Right.
And then you're grumpy.
Yeah.
When you should be on vacation.
And that's a choice. But then there are, but also, so we live in this era where we have access to everything all the time.
There's not a moment of the day where you couldn't reach me.
Right. But here's the thing. Why aren't we taking steps as per essentialism?
Yeah.
Right. If these are trivial, many things, to remove ourselves from that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, phone on, right? Email autoresponder, like we have this full bevy of tools that we can use to essentially, no pun intended, be unreachable if we are off, right? If we are on family time, to not just be like, because for me, it's not that I was reachable. Let me think about how I want to say this. What fucked up my weekend? It was that it came in, and if it comes in, I am going to do something about it. Right. I don't have the willpower to like slide the phone open, or like dismiss that notification. Like, I'm going to open it. So knowing that about myself, why am I not adopting tools and approaches that allow for that intrusion, that thing that I know is going to fuck up my weekend, to never show up? It's that kind of stuff.
What is that? What makes you check the email?
I'm
asking you.
I mean,
what makes you check the email? I don't know why I check it.
Yeah, I think I check it because A, I like to be connected to what's happening.
Yeah.
B, I have a servant leader mentality, and so I care about supporting people. C, maybe a small percentage of it is fear that if I don't, the client will
they'll get mad or whatever.
Get mad and fire me, which all in my head and pretty much bullshit.
Yeah.
Luckily, only a small percentage of what's happening in my brain is that fear. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Also, I mean, these things are designed, right, to capture our attention so that we do open them. That is the whole nature of the digital economy now. So I think some of it's just literally designed by really smart people that want to sell you things. But my point stands. Why the fuck do we let those things happen?
We do,
right? I mean, once we know something is trivial, I think that helps change our mindset around it. But continually, I feel like this book, and then just in practice, we have to reinforce those good behaviors, those good habits that allow us to focus on those valuable few things. Time with my son on the weekend.
Yeah.
And take active steps, to your point. Take action to make the other things go away. To make it hard for someone to find you, to make it hard for someone who may or may not be valuable. Every human is valuable, but I'm talking in terms of business opportunities. Make their way onto your schedule. Just all these things.